Good afternoon, and welcome to the Bitter Knitters podcast. It is Sunday, April 8th, 2018. This is the TV Attack edition. My name is Jacqueline, and Justin is here.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
A week after Easter. I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm ready for summer? No, I don't know.
It was funny because I was thinking every time I go into my bathroom and I have to shut the door for whatever reason, the heater comes on and it's the hottest in the bathroom. And I thought that's the one good thing about summer that I like is that I don't have to be in the bathroom with the heater on.
That sounds miserable.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, but I'm in Florida and it always feels like a bathroom heater when you go outside.
Just straight after the shower, steamy.
You know what? You can't even feel good like when you get out of the shower. As soon as you get out of the shower, it's like you want to get back in the shower. It's disgusting.
I hate that feeling. That's why I don't have any desire to go to a tropical place. Because even, in the summer, you get out of the shower, you towel off, and by the time you get your clothes on, you're sweating.
Yes. Especially me. I'm a sweaty bastard. And it's disgusting. And it's gross. And I should just live in, the Arctic or something. But that's okay.
Dip yourself in a vat of antiperspirant.
I try.
Like doing the back and doing your legs.
Like it's sunscreen?
Yeah, exactly.
I should try that. I should buy stock in all the antiperspirant.
Yeah, like the liquid ones that you roll on and just open up the little roller part and just pour it on.
Yeah. I like the gel. I could gel my legs or something. Let's talk TV.
TV.
So we were talking last Sunday. We had our last podcast, and then all the TV news happened on Monday. So,
of course it did.
Two big things. The first thing that happened is CW renewed 10 of their shows in just one fell swoop, which they usually do. There's always one day, and they're hey, we're going to renew most of our shows.
Everything.
So, everything. You get a renewal, and you get a renewal. So all the superhero shows got renewed that we don't watch any of them. Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Black Lightning, all those got renewed. And then Dynasty's getting renewed for a second season. I don't think anybody watched it.
I've never had one person say to me they watched the new Dynasty.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Me neither. Riverdale got renewed for season 3.
Surprise. I
heard season 2 has been garbage. Maybe I'll watch it when it goes on Netflix in a couple months. And American Netflix. And Jane the Virgin. Yay.
I guess yay. I have mixed feelings about it, but yay. More Rogelio is always a good thing.
No, they're going to kill Rogelio off, and it's going to be the Raph. It's going to be Raph.
Raph's dating the mom and Abuela and Jane.
Mm-hmm.
And Petra.
Disgusting. That's so gross.
Sister wives.
But we did get a hint from We did get a hint from Gina Rodriguez that next season is going to be the last. That hasn't been completely confirmed, which I think is fine. I think that this is the kind of story.
There's not much else they can do.
You can't drag it on forever. And I think the showrunners know that.
Her star's rising. She's doing movies and stuff. She doesn't want to be trapped on a TV show anymore.
Did you see what she's going to be doing for Netflix? She's going to play...
I feel like I heard this.
She's going to play a live-action Carmen Sandiego.
Yes, I knew it. Yeah. Well, you know what? I know you'll be watching.
I'll watch. I'll watch. As long as they bring in Rockapella, I'm going to watch. So that should be exciting. And also renewed for season 4 is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And Rachel Bloom. I always get Rachel Bloom and Rebecca Bunch, her character. I always somehow mix up their names.
Rachel
Bloom.
Yes.
Rachel Bunch or Rebecca Bloom. I think I've done that before. Rachel Bloom did confirm that season 4 is the final season, which is another one. That's fine. It's always been the creator and Rachel have always come out and said, this is a story being told in 4 parts. And I like that networks and creators are being able to do their full vision and full stories where we get the full beginning, middle, and end. And you don't want things to drag on forever. And
they wrap up a story and then, we got renewed and now they got to think of another thing to do for the next season. It's always crap.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen these 2 words yet. I just it's going to not have any context. I'm just going to say the words Poutine Mountain. Okay.
I didn't look. I just think for professional.
I don't want to say poutine mountain.
Shout out to Pat, who's not listening.
I didn't even see it. I just saw those words. I'm like, that's amazing. Professional. So I'm excited to see the last batch of Crazy X episodes. To see, especially, I don't know. We'll see how everything wraps up.
It just better wrap with her and Nathaniel, or Greg comes back, because if it wraps with her and freaking White, or what's his name, Josh Chan.
Just Josh.
I'll be so mad. I'll be so mad.
I don't think they can. I don't know. They might. I don't know. We kept saying that Jane and Raph, they weren't going to go back to that. I don't think Josh Chan has chemistry with anybody but Hector's mom. Mm-hmm. Hector's mom is the only person on that entire show I've seen any chemistry with.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird. The other news that broke on Monday is, which is funny because we were talking about this the day before, is we found out information about the cast for season 2 of Dr. Sean Murphy, a.k.a. The Good Doctor, a.k.a. Dr. Sean Murphy.
Yay, Dr. Sean Murphy.
Dr. Sean Murphy. So 4 people have been promoted to series regular slots, and one of the series regulars from season 1 will not be appearing as a regular on season 2.
Who we predicted.
Yeah, we talked about Dr. Jared last week, and we talked about how his character at this point, his roles are being kind of taken by other people, and it was to the point where they didn't know what else to do with him. And he got an acceptance letter to another hospital. So yeah, Dr. Jared will not. He might pop up. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like they need to at least have him in the premiere.
He deserves a goodbye episode, not just he left over summer break. That's horrible.
Yeah, and I said this last week, and I thought it was weird that was such a big cliffhanger. Besides the weird brain craziness of Dr. Glassman, but they made that such a big deal that he got an acceptance letter.
They showed us the letter up close and let us read it and everything.
And they never mentioned anything in the season finale.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll get some sort of goodbye. If his goodbye is him reading the letter, it's kind of sucky to the actor.
His goodbye is on previously on Dr. Sean Murphy.
That might be what they stuck with, yeah. Which will be kind of bad. I wonder what that actor did to them to piss them off.
Yeah.
So we got 4 characters that are being promoted to series regular. That blonde girl, Dr. Morgan, who we talked about last week that we never wanted to see again, is going to be a regular.
Of course she is.
The older Asian former cop doctor, Dr. Alex Park, he's going to be a series regular.
Yeah.
Dr. Audrey Lim, who I'm still not 100% sure who she is, but I think she's kind of more of a senior doctor.
I think she runs. She's not she's not the surgical doctor, but I think she runs other things.
But she was on
the. If anybody's remembering, she was when they had the episode where they each chose 2 doctors and they had the little competition to see who could get the better feedback from the patients after. She was the doctor.
And if I remember, I think she had pretty good chemistry with Dr. Melendez.
Yeah, I'd rather see them hook up than him and
Dr. Brown? Claire.
Claire Brown, yeah.
I agree. And then the 4th person is from Pennsylvania. They're bringing back Leah. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah. As I said to you, I want if he ends up with Leah in the end after 3, 4, 5 seasons, whatever, that's okay. But, he's just a young guy, and he's opening up and exploring the world like he never has. And for him to bring back Leah already, I want him to have kind of more experiences, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And this also makes me kind of nervous because I feel like a trap that a lot of season 2 shows go into is that they add so many people to the series cast and they don't use half of them. I didn't watch most of This Is Us this year, but Alexandra Breckenridge, I don't think they barely used her.
She's in the credits, and I think she was only in maybe 2 episodes.
Yeah, which is weird. They promoted a bunch of the kids, and I'm sure the kids pop up throughout the series, but you're not going to see them every time. And I felt like they're trying to get as many series regulars as Game of Thrones, and that's another one that you don't see all the series regulars in every episode. Walking Dead.
Yeah.
and I just sometimes I feel like if you keep it like I understand with something like Game
The
of Thrones,
core,
you need a
yeah.
big cast, but for something like this, the medical show, I think you need a smaller core cast. And
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
especially since it's not necessarily about the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
but more of like Dr. Sean Murphy and then their side stories,
Yeah,
right? So, yeah, you don't need like 15 supporting characters constantly,
yeah. Unless we're gonna get less
But
Dr. Sean
I
and more of
liked the
them.
lady doctor, and I do think they need more women. I don't like that new blonde lady doctor.
No, no.
Um, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting to see season 2. Most likely coming out in the fall. In May, we'll find out all the fall schedules. I assume that they're not going to hold on to that for mid-season.
No. The other thing I was just going to say about this. Now I know what's his name? Daniel Day Kim, that's his name?
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the producers. So I'm guessing that's why we have a pretty strong Asian representation, which I think is fantastic. There's not a lot of
Yeah,
colors on the
it
screen.
is.
You know what I
It
mean? Like
is,
different colors of the world.
and it is a diverse cast. When you look at the
It's a great
cast,
craft. Yeah.
we've got Hispanic, we've got Black, we got Asian, and that's
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And
good.
Jared was, I'm assuming, was like a brown person from India or something, right?
Well, was
He
he?
was supposed to be.
I had
Yeah,
no,
I
I
think that's
couldn't
what he was
tell.
supposed to be.
Oh, I thought he was
Because
Black.
he talked about his family. No, I don't think he's black. I think he's Indian. Caillou or Kailu or whatever his last name was.
I never knew.
Yeah, I think he's like an Indian or a Pakistani. I'm not sure though. I don't want to be insensitive. That's what I thought he was.
Oh, okay.
I thought they mentioned his family in India.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway.
I was not paying attention, apparently. Did you see who got added to the new season of American Horror?
Yeah. That was like the biggest news story on Delisted.
Joan Collins?
Yeah, Joan Collins. He said now they finally got real star power on it. Like,
Yeah,
good for her.
Yeah, and it looks like the Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Billy Eichner will be back, Cheyenne Jackson will be back, Adina Porter will be back, and Leslie Grossman will be back, who are all on Cult, and some of them have been on previous seasons also. Cheyenne Jackson.
Okay, that'll be good. That was a pretty solid cast last season.
Yeah, I never finished it. The season wasn't great, but the cast seemed like it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and apparently Joan Collins is going to be playing Evan Peters' grandmother.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, and at first they were like, oh, it's going to be set in the future. According to Ryan Murphy, the future is 18 months from now. So it's not going to be like Joan Collins in space, which I actually would pay to see. That would be a good show. One I might not have produced it.
Outfit?
Yes, that would be me. But we got Lost in Space coming next week from Netflix, even though I've read not so good reviews about that. Maybe we'll talk about that next time.
Ew.
And so one episode. It doesn't look like it, but I'll give it a go. And then within like 2 days of each other, 2 like Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky shows got scrapped. Ryan Murphy originally wanted one of the Crime Story seasons to be about Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Apparently that's not happening. I'm wondering if part of that is because the deal with Netflix, he needs to kind of tone down pare down a little bit of what he's doing. And,
yeah, maybe I did see one of his sayings or responses to why it was canceled was because he said it's Monica's story to tell and not his.
Yeah. And this was based on the season was going to be based on a book written by the same guy that did the OJ book that they based their season.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't necessarily have been Monica. He's like, I want all the money to go to Monica. And then there was a drama called The Breach that History was going to air about the Bill Clinton impeachment, and that got scrapped also. You know what? We've got enough like political drama and like real stuff that I'm okay. We don't need
I don't have a problem. I probably would have watched the Bill and Monica stuff just because it's a little salacious, right?
Yeah.
But I don't really want to see the whole like Ken Starr and the Linda Tripp and the trials. Like it's so boring. Sorry.
Okay. but we'll see. But that's not happening now.
Yeah.
George Clooney is directing a Catch-22 limited series for Hulu. This is one of my favorite books ever, and it looks like one of the stars of the show is going to be Hugh Laurie from House.
Okay.
22, because I really like that book. Did you hear about Connie Brennan's new show on Bravo?
You told me, I think.
It's because she's not going to be full-time on 911 next year, which is a shame. She was one of the better parts of that show behind Carla. And it's going to be a true crime drama called Dirty John, which is apparently an anthology series that Bravo picked up for 2 series. I assume Connie Brennan would only be in the first season. Apparently, I think Nashville broke her, and I don't think she will ever do a long series ever again.
She's never locking into a contract beyond 1 season.
Yeah, I honestly think that it broke her. So Eric Bana will also star in season 1 of Dirty John. And apparently Connie Brennan's character is called Deborah Newell. And it's about a true crime, and there's something about a web of lies, and I don't know. It sounds like it's an erotic thriller of some sort.
Oh my god.
It's drama. It's Bravo. I can't really get behind any Bravo scripted series.
I'm surprised that she didn't make them hire another young guy, a young, quote, buck, for her to be making the lure.
Maybe they could have just gotten Buck.
Yeah.
We'll just give Buck.
She's got a good gig. You know what? I want to be Connie Britton. The woman's like, what, 50 years old, and she's still boning hot guys on TV? Good for you,
Yeah.
Connie.
Yeah. She still gets hired all the time.
Yeah.
She's still working, and she's 51. And she was boning Buck. She gets to hang out with Carla. I'm more jealous about that. I want to hang out with Carla.
And she got to be Daphne's mom.
Got to be Daphne's mom. That's the greatest thing ever. Question: would you watch a TV series based on the movie The First Wives Club?
I never even saw the movie The First Wives Club, so I'm going to say no.
Apparently Paramount Network thinks people will.
Are they going to have, like, Bette Midler back, or is it going to be some other women?
I'm sure it'll be other women. Yeah, apparently TV Land started to develop a pilot for this, but it's moving over to Paramount Network. And it's being written by one of the writers.
I'm going to cast it right now.
Okay.
I'm going to cast it with actresses I hate. So we've got Gwyneth Paltrow, Anne Hathaway, and...
I got one. Who? Jada Pinkett.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. We're good. You got to put a little bit of diversity in it this time.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
And I know you are not a fan.
No, so. Of those 3 women, no.
Now, would you watch a TV series based on the movie Hidden Figures?
Yes, I would. I love Hidden Figures.
Nat Geo thinks people will.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I would give it a shot, certainly. I doubt we'll have Octavia Spencer, who I love.
Or any of them. Well, maybe Janelle Monáe.
She's a good actress. She has a career.
She was very good in that movie. Yeah. What confuses me is that the way the movie kind of played with time, because I think that
they weren't all real contemporaries.
They weren't all working at the same time. Yeah, they weren't peers and contemporaries of each other. That's a good word. So I don't know how the show's going to approach that. I don't know how the show's going to like do any new ground. I thought the movie did it perfectly.
Yeah, it did it really
awesome.
Well. Yeah, I loved that movie.
It's just in the early stages, so I don't know if it'll ever happen. But I don't know if I necessarily need that, because I thought the movie did it perfectly.
It might not be needed, but you know what? It's always a good thing to have not just people of color, but women in like kind of those roles on TV, because there's not a lot of women scientists that aren't just there to be like boning some guy in the background, right?
Yeah. No, I think that would be good. I think it'd be an interesting.
If they do it well, it could be fantastic.
Yeah, it could work.
We'll see. I mean, fuck, we watched Sirens.
Did you watch episode 3?
I didn't even watch episode 2.
Episode 2. Okay.
No.
You had someone on your feed that was very excited for it, right?
I did.
Sorry.
Hey, Sarah.
So there is. Have you ever heard of the comic book series Why the Last Man?
No.
I didn't think so. So this was a series published by Vertigo, which is an imprint of DC Comics, which was kind of published in the like the mid 2000s. Through and it ended a few years ago, and it is about the last man on Earth. Everyone else is women.
Oh.
So he's there was some sort of disease that went through, and he thinks that he's the only man left alive, and but all the women are alive. They were not killed by this disease, and he travels with a monkey called Yorick, and it's kind of I think a road trip. I read a few series of first couple volumes of the comics, and it's kind of like a road trip where they're in a different location every time, and I think you find out more about what's going on, and it's kind
Is
of
he
a cool
just
series.
like impregnating women across the world?
I from as far as I read, I don't think he impregnated anyone. That might change as the series goes on. There's this like agent who ends up like protecting him, and like a kick-ass. I think she's either from like she might be from France, maybe somewhere.
Is she protecting him from like the women that just want to have a man?
It's been a while since I've read this, but it's a very fascinating
It's
series.
fascinating to me, just the idea, because I just like did a man write this book? Because I could just imagine women are just like ripping their clothes off when they see him.
It was
because
a man.
There's like a man dong around.
It
right?
was a man. It's actually, and I don't think it was that way. Oh, his monkey's a male too. His monkey's a male. But it was. Oh my god. Yeah, it was a male writer, and I don't think it necessarily was like a complete sex romp, if I remember correctly. But it was a very interesting series. A while ago, there were agreements to make it into a movie, and the name that was kind of shopped around for a little bit was Shia LaBeouf.
Ew.
But falling through.
That would definitely keep women from ripping their clothes off.
Yes. Why is he the last man? Because nobody wants to do him. So why the last man? It fell through all these times, and it looked like a movie was going to happen at some point. But it looks like FX ordered a pilot for an adaptation to Why the Last Man, and I think that would work very well. I think it would work better as a TV series than as a movie.
Yeah, no, it sounds interesting. I would definitely tune in and check that one out.
And apparently FX was involved all the way back in 2015 with this too. So hopefully it will finally happen, because I think it's a cool concept.
I'm kind of interested in that.
Who they will cast as the guy who will have every woman rip off their clothes.
It should be like a hideous person, because remember, the old saying, I wouldn't do that if they were the last man on Earth?
Yeah. So, Vern Troyer?
Oh, that's mean. He's just had a mental breakdown. He's in the hospital.
I'm sorry.
Should read TMZ more.
Shia LaBeouf?
Ew, Shia LaBeouf's so gross.
Oh, I got it. Beans from Even Stevens.
I got your joke. You're not talking about like the saddest news and the greatest news of the week.
I'm saving that for last, because I am kind of in denial, and actually we're actually right there right now, so that's good transition.
Okay.
So Netflix gives like every single show that they pick up like more than one season. Like,
even Nailed It got a second season, and I mean Nailed It is a good show,
the greatest show.
But I can't imagine it's got like 60 billion watchers.
I watched it 60 billion times just myself.
Just the second episode.
Look, like if you look back at shows that have not gotten a second season to Netflix, I only thought of one, but then I was told another one. I'm like, oh yeah, that show was garbage. The first one I thought of was called Girl Boss, and I never saw Girl Boss. And then the second one was Gypsy.
Yeah, Gypsy.
Was Gypsy, and
which we reviewed and said was horrible.
It was so bad. It was so boring. I didn't know what that was. That was Naomi Watts or Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, and Naomi Watts, and it was so much uncomfortable sex.
Yeah, and I didn't know what was going on. She was trying to pretend to be someone. It was a horrible show. So a few weeks ago, we talked about a brand new show that premiered on Netflix, and we both loved, and we were both excited for season 2. And now Netflix took a stake in our heart and canceled Everything Sucks.
So sad.
So this was that 90s.
I mean, other than the cliffhanger with the dad showing up at the end of the season, I mean, it was pretty wrapped up. It was okay, but I wanted more.
I wanted more too. But yeah, everything with the dad. You're right. Everything with the dad. Everything was kind of wrapped up. I mean, they tease a little bit with the little nerdy kid, maybe like going off in his own little Columbine bubble. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But there definitely were places to go with the soundtrack, and this was that show set in 1990s high school in Boring, Oregon, and I thought it was a sweet, fun little show.
Oh, it was so sweet, and the kid who played Lucas is so charming.
Yeah, I guess he's going to be stuck to it.
Big future ahead of him.
What's that? Yeah, well, he was good on.
Future, yeah.
He had a guest appearance on The Resident a few weeks ago. He seemed good on that. So, yeah, I think of anybody on that show, he has the most potential to break out.
The one girl that was his love interest, she's weird looking. Sorry, I know she's a young girl going through puberty, but she was strange.
She's kind of odd looking. She did good.
She's a good actress.
Yeah, she was very good. She was the one who was a lesbian, right? And kind of coming to terms with that. Yeah, she did a very good job.
But like an alien, all arms and legs and neck.
I mean, in general, it was kind of an odd-looking cast, which I like.
Yeah, that's true.
We've got a high school cast where they're all their ages, and they're not all like the pretty people.
Super hot. Yeah, I know. They were all like normal-looking people. Even the girl that was like, the cool girl at school, she was pretty, but she wasn't like, looking like a 42-year-old woman.
Yeah, these are these were kids that actually look like you could have gone to school. Yeah. Especially since I went to high school and around that time, these look like people I would have walked. I never would have talked to any of them, but I would have walked past them in the hall.
Get out of my way, loser. Got to go to band practice.
That's pretty accurate. I was probably staring at the floor. I probably didn't say anything. I was staring at the floor. I was like, I'm sorry. But it's so sad because it was such a good show, had such good promise. And I was reading reviews, and the showrunners are like, oh, yeah, we hope we get a season 2. We already have ideas. Every season's going to be a new year at the high school. We're going to use this song and this song. We really want to use Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, the soundtrack was like, the 10th, star of the show or whatever. However many stars there were.
Oh, I like the soundtrack more than most of the people.
Yeah.
But it was so sad. That sucks. It sucks, Netflix. I almost wrote an angry tweet to them, but I didn't. I still might.
But you did not mention the news that made me excited. Is it Amazon TV doing Lord of the Rings? I've said there'll be 5 seasons of Lord of the Rings.
5 seasons of Lord of the Rings. And they canceled Mozart in the Jungle this week, probably so they could help pay for the 5 seasons of Lord of the Rings. Because
people will watch.
It's going to be an expensive show. Well, that's what they're hoping.
Like I said before, I'm going to wait and see. I hope it's new stories and not just a retelling of what we know.
Oh, that would be miserable. And then we don't know yet.
I like it, but it's perfect the way it is. I don't think we need a retelling.
We don't need a retelling.
You can't top Peter Jackson's versions.
And they're definitely swinging big for this one. They're hoping for a lot of subscribers and a lot of views, and we'll see how it plays out for them. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Okay, let's
maybe
talk about
Amazon won't be around by then since someone's trying to shut it down.
That person can have fun. Okay, no names. Okay, sorry. Let's go ahead and talk about our shows for this week. I have a hard time keeping my opinions to myself. And we're going to talk very quickly about a TV show that I know you didn't watch, so we won't spend too much time on it. But Trading Spaces came back last night.
Yay!
Which is awesome on TLC. It was a show that was on in the early started I think in 2000. And it was on TLC.
I always thought it was the 90s, but yeah, you're right.
What happened was they showed a clip of Doug's first episode, and it was dated 2000.
Okay.
So, and I know it was on throughout like most.
Maybe I probably watched the Trading Places. Is that the British one?
Yeah. That probably.
I watched that probably for a couple of years before we got the US version.
Yeah. So that would make sense. And so you've got neighbors, friends, people that know each other, working in teams of 2, swapping houses, remaking over a room, having a designer and a carpenter, and then they reveal the rooms that they created in 2 days with their budget. And you know what? The show's exactly the same as it was It was back in the 2000s. It was kind of a nice little comfort watch. I liked it.
Nice.
Just kind of preparing myself, and because the new episode wasn't on my on demand, I actually watched an old episode first, just to kind of. I haven't watched an old episode in over 10 years, and they listed who the designers were. So I'm like, I'm gonna watch one with Hildy and Doug because those were going to be the designers in the premiere episode for that premiered last night, and it was a fun watch. And what I forgot about though is like no matter what they say, is like, oh yeah, neighbors, you get the say of what goes into your friend's house. Like these designers will steamroll these people and do whatever the heck they want.
Bully them. Like I'm the professional. Them. I know what good houses look like. You better listen to me. Do you want to do a nice room for your friend?
So exactly. So the old one I watched, they were even more stubborn than usual because they decided, I guess, for this episode, Hildy and Doug, that they were going to do a theme, and they were not going to deviate from this theme at all. Hildy was going to do an all black room, and Doug was going to do an all white room. And they kept trying to come up with ways to add color to the all white because the people knew that their neighbors were going to hate it. The black one ended up being okay. It actually looked very cool. They put like ribbon on the walls, and it worked out well. That was Hildy's room, but the white room, the guy hated it. He was like in tears. He was pissed, and it was a sterile, ugly room because everything was white. And so what was funny was with this episode, what I liked was when they introduced Hildy and they introduced Doug, they played clips of some of their past rooms and past reveals and from the original series, which I thought kind of brought it full circle. I thought was kind of cool. And with Doug's, they showed that all white room. I'm like, that was that white room I just watched. And again, the same thing is that they talked with the homeowners, like, oh, what do you want? What do you want? But they ended up steamrolling them like, no, we're going to make brown ceiling and put burlap on the walls.
They didn't.
Oh, yeah, he put burlap on the wall. And I will say that room ended up okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how do you clean a wall that has burlap on it?
Yeah. So just to give you some highlights for you to watch, because you will watch it, right?
Oh, yes. My husband and I want to watch it together.
The term deconstructed penguin is used quite a bit. It's maybe the smallest master bedroom I've ever seen. When the couple first starts talking to Hildy, look out for an amazing Hildy face. Hildy makes an amazing face. Hildy apparently spent tons of money on one piece of fabric.
You only have $2,000 too. I mean, stuff costs a lot more money now.
Yes, and that is more. She actually does go over budget by 24 cents. And she makes the team work on this ugly eggshell sculpture rope, which is bad. And I bet that was the first thing that team got rid of.
If I was to be on Trading Spaces, right, I'd be like, look, nobody cares about the fucking decoration. They want the wall and the furniture and, your paintings to look nice and your wall fixtures. Like, nobody cares about an egg sculpture.
No.
That's going to get thrown in the basement or the spare room.
They did throw one little twist in this, in the series now, where I guess they've got, like, sponsored by some Wayfair company. And each team gets to go and pick one piece of furniture or one piece of sculpture or something from that set, and the designer has to use it in the room. And
choose the bed.
Well, it was like lamps and chairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like little things. And it was fun. It was a good show. When I watched the old one, I was like, oh wow, Paige actually was not a very good host. She was not good. I think she's gotten better. She was fine, and yeah, it was interesting. You had each team had their own design of their own carpenter. One team had Carter, the other team had Ty Pennington.
Oh, because Ty used to do both people's stuff. I guess he got old and all cracked out.
Yeah. Usually they only in the old episode, they only had. You're right. They only had one carpenter for both teams. Now they had one carpenter for each team.
Oh,
and I think and I think before there was some sort of controversy with that Carter guy that he got accused of something. But
oh, wait a minute. I feel like I remember that.
Everybody did. And I think
Ty doesn't got a squeaky clean.
Exactly. And I think that there's going to be at least one episode this season where Ty's the designer.
Oh my god.
And
all over
what I never realized, I feel like when Mark McGrath was in the Big Brother house, Ty could have hosted his 90s on 9 countdown or radio show.
Yes, his voice is rough.
Nobody would
His
be able to
voice
tell
is
the
rough.
difference.
I'm Ty Pennington / Mark McGrath. Welcome to my 90s mystery hour.
What's the theme this week? Like they get the same voice and it's scary. But it was a fun show. I liked it. It's something I'll just watch on demand, and I won't have to watch it live. But it's a fun and definitely was a throwback. When I was watching the old episode, they had that. Remember when they had like the corner of the room like time lapse camera?
Yes.
And they like speed everything up and show everything in time lapse. I was like, oh, I hope that's in the. I don't know why, but I'm like, I hope that's in the new season. Little things amuse me, and it was.
Yay!
So they kept very close to the format that made the show work.
You know, when I was younger, I used to be like, you know, like I mean, I hate it. I'd be like, ooh, that room's ugly. But I always be like, why are these people crying? It's just a fucking room. Change it around. But as a grown old woman now, I can get that. I'd cry too if I came in my room was upside down or had hay on the walls or something.
How would you feel if you were on the show? And I actually was in a place yesterday where they were casting for Trading Spaces.
Oh my God.
How would you feel if you were working on it with a designer, but the person working on your house was Hildy?
Oh my God. I'd be like, I'd tear up that contract now.
Because I feel like she's one. And Doug also. I feel like they're the two that will try to do something shocking just to do something shocking.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, you know what? I mean, I guess they work with people that are like rich and they like to do avant-garde sort of things. But the average person living in their suburban home does not want avant-garde. They want a normal house. So, you know, that will function. The room's supposed to function as a family room or a bedroom or a bathroom. It's supposed to be normal.
But that's not what get people talking. They want to get people talking.
I know.
So.
I know.
But
especially the first episode of the new show. So.
Mm-hmm. And I think they purposely chose Doug and Hildy just for that.
I wouldn't go on a show like Trading Spaces, to be honest. I'd find a Canadian show and do one of those shows.
Canadian Trading Spaces.
Like that. Yeah. We got Brian Holmes at Holmes or something like that. And this guy goes and repairs your house.
Oh. But then you want to have Ty Pennington with Mark McGrath voice at your house.
Hanging out on my front yard.
Do it. Okay, so that's Trading Spaces. I definitely recommend it. It brought me back to, and when I watched the old one, I forgot kind of how quaint and charming it is, and it's a fun little show. And now that I know that there's 13 more old episodes on demand for me to watch, I might watch more.
Yeah.
And okay, so Trading Spaces is back. It's very similar to the original. I do recommend it. Let's go ahead and talk about, because we haven't talked about this in a few weeks, one of our shows on right now, which is Survivor. Currently in the middle of the season, and we're at the point where I think the merge is happening next episode.
This week, yeah.
Yeah, it's happening this week, and so we're at the point where we're done with all the pre-merge stuff, and we're going to see what happens next. And how do you feel about the season so far?
I'm loving it.
I think it's pretty good. I think
other than a few duds, I mean, there's always some duds on the seasons, but I think there's a pretty good cast of characters, and you know, you got the hot guy, you got the dumb hot guy, and you got Donathan. Come on.
You get Donathan, the guy from Kentucky.
Like the fish out of water story, right?
I always loved the fish out of water. That's what I always loved about like Suri in her first season. And she was like scared of the leaves. Like this little,
you know, country hick that's, you know, the only gay guy in East Kentucky as far as he's concerned. And, you know, he's now out in, where are they? Fiji, Philippines? I don't know where the hell
they've been in Fiji for the last 20 seasons.
Yeah, so they're in Fiji, and he's with all these different types of people, and he's just so endearing. I just love him to death.
Yeah, he's really likable, and then on the flip side of that, you get Dominic.
The typical, and I don't want to, it's the stereotype thing, but you know, that typical New Yorker or East Coast guy who thinks he's so smart and he thinks he's so cool and thinks he's running the show. I hate that guy. I hate a Tony. I hate a freaking, what's the other guy's name?
In order for them to be like that, they have to be from Boston.
Yeah. Well, the only Boston guy I liked was Boston Rob, but he was smart
Yeah.
because he didn't have to be loud and brash.
Now, here's what I'm afraid of, and this is what I'm afraid is going to happen this season. I don't know for sure, but I'm afraid we're going to see, because the original tribes are so uneven going into this merge, I have a feeling that Dom and his crew are just going to steamroll everybody else. And to me, that's not necessarily going to make interesting TV, but we'll see.
The hope
could
happens. Be because Dom did vote out Bradley last week.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe was it Navidi? Is that the tribe he was on? Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll be like, this guy's not trustworthy. He voted out one of our own when they had an upper hand.
Yeah, but he would probably go and be like, look, this is what happened.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Around it. So we'll see. I mean, it's been pretty good. We've got Jonathan. We got Chris, who's the dumb guy, right? I assume.
I mean, he's not super dumb, but he's unaware dumb.
Yeah, yes, that's a good way to put it. And I think the whole story up this point, we've been leading to a lot of like Dominic versus Chris.
Yeah, the showdown is coming.
The showdown, and now that they're going to be in the same tribe once again, I think we're going to get payoff maybe to that. I would hope Chris comes out on top. I don't have hope.
Dom has an idol.
Mm-hmm.
Chris does not. So unless somebody that's one of his allies, is willing to give up an idol for Chris.
Who else has idols at this point? I know Michael.
Michael does.
Michael does.
My jailbait crush, he's literally a year older than my son.
I still
What's
can't
my
believe
son's age when that was filmed? You know what? I'm going to say, and it's not just because he's beautiful. This is a good player. He's smart.
Yeah.
And he plays, I don't want to say mature, but he plays at a level that a lot of people don't because, and he is so young.
Yeah.
I would be a mess on that show, and he's pretty good.
Disaster. And it does seem like he's been watching it for years, too.
Yeah. I feel like most of the people know what's going on. I feel like even if you were picked out of a bar and you're a actress, these people understand the game this year.
Yeah, I don't know if we necessarily have any meta world pieces.
Yeah.
Who know nothing. It seems like most of them have somewhat of an idea, and it always helps. I do like when we have fans that watch it because I hate when people just get picked out of bars and be like, "Hey, you." And I bet a lot of these people still were. I'm sure Chris was.
Yeah, Chris, and most likely Sebastian. He's gross, but
they found him on the bottom of the ocean, I think.
Yeah.
Sea bass.
But yeah, I think it's a good cast, and I'm liking Laurel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people to like, and
I'm hoping Dominic doesn't ruin the rest of the season.
I know, me too. My ideal final three would be, even though I love Chris, not Chris, my three would be Michael, Jonathan, and Laurel, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. The only problem with them is that they were all on the original Manolo tribe.
They're not all going to make it, I know.
So, hopefully some will. And Michael's going to be in a tight position, because once the whole, penis battle between Chris and Dominic
yeah. And that other girl, what's her name? Kira or whatever? She got the advantage.
Kellen. Oh, yeah. Kellen has a vote advantage. Yeah. And are there any other idols floating out there? Yeah, Dominic, got Michael. Does Wendell have one? Why do I think Wendell has one?
Oh, you're right. He found one last week or this week, the beginning of this episode.
Because he got...
he dug up
he got Eric's. He got Eric's.
Big giant necklace one.
Yes.
How's he going to hide that? You're going to hide that down the front of your pants?
Michael just got the little stick that Ozzy made back in Fan versus Favorites. And, he's like, you can even have that floating around and people would be like, oh, okay, this is a stick. Apparently, the producers had a lot of these were sold in auctions and collectors had purchased these pieces. And they actually had to go to these people and be like, hey, look, can we take this for a new season? And
I wondered that because they always auction that stuff off at the end of the season.
That's what I was always thinking, too. I was reading an interview where they actually had to go and get some of
I would let my thing go and be used as long as it wasn't going to get burned in the fire.
That's what I was going to say. You could have Lauren just throw it in the fire again. And who knows if these things would last. But But here's the thing: on the opposite end of that, if you're gonna buy something like that, obviously you're a Survivor fan, so you'd
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, wait, this is gonna be on another season. Oh, hell yeah, here you go."
Just increases the value of your item in the Survivor world, collector's world.
So if one person were to win right now, who do you want to win, and who do you think will?
I'd love, just as like a little Cinderella story, Jonathan to win, but really I want Michael to win because I think that for a kid that age, he really has his head on strong.
Yeah.
I think he's smart.
And we've only seen him once where I think the emotions got to him. And
Which I think everybody has a breakdown.
Everyone would.
Yeah.
And who do you think?
Who do I think is going to win? One of these people in the background, like a Laurel or a Kellen or somebody like that.
Right now, I was saying Michael. I thought you were going to say Donovan. I didn't want to say the same one, but I say Michael. I want Michael to win.
Yeah.
And then I guess next after that would be Laura. I think, you know what? I'm going to put my money on Wendell right now.
He's playing a good game.
Yeah.
Because you know that on Survivor, there's only two types of black people. You got the lazy black guy, and you got the sassy black chick. And so far, the 3 black people are still in it, and they're playing smart games. They're playing normal people games, right? And I think that's working out well for them.
Yeah, I think he hasn't put too much attention on himself. He's done a good job kind of deflecting. We'll see what happens.
I forget about him all the time, to be honest, until he's on screen. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Isn't a bad thing.
No.
So maybe that means he isn't necessarily getting a winner's edit. But
I kind of thought Desiree was going because she kept getting some screen time. We haven't seen her much. And I'm like, oh, no.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I have a feeling usually we go mid-May. So I think we'll probably get some double boots coming up, maybe some double episodes.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we'll talk about Survivor again.
Yeah, but to have 3 black people make it to the merge. Have we ever seen that? I can't even recall that ever happening, to be honest.
Wasn't Survivor Racist Islands? How did they do?
Oh, yeah, that might have been Racist Island because they specifically cast like 6 black people.
Yeah. I like Racist Islands. I thought it was
I did too. I thought that was a great season.
Yeah.
That was Yule. Beautiful Yule.
That was Yule one.
And Ozzy, the first Ozzy.
And our first Candace. And Jonathan Penner.
Ew.
But yeah, no, I like that season. Okay, so let's very quickly, because I had one last thing I want to talk about besides this show, but we'll talk about this show very quickly. ABC premiered a new show this week called The Crossing, starring Steve Zahn and a bunch of people I don't know. I guess Sandrine Holt is in it, and she pops up in things, but everyone else I don't know. So the first thing we see all these like people in water, and then the cops and the authorities pull all these water people out. Some are dead, I guess. Yeah, some are alive.
A lot of them are dead. Some of them are alive.
We find out that they're from the United States, but they're from the United States in the future.
Yeah, and
they're all
whatever
refugees.
time machine sent them back wasn't supposed to send them back in the water, and that's why they drowned.
So there's some surviving, and we meet this little girl, and then a lot of the dead ones are placed in a warehouse, and then we find about something called Apex, and we find out this woman comes back, and she's got superpowers, and I'm not sure.
So in the future, there's a civil war between I don't know if they were genetically made that way or if they just evolved that way, but there's like a better type of human, stronger, faster, better, smarter, and that's why they're leaving, because those people are winning against regular humans. So they come back in time so that they can have a chance to live.
And we see that one woman comes back and she's got these powers.
She's the mother of the little girl, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and the little girl's like, "Where's my mommy?" And she's like, "Where's my daughter?" And Steve Zahn's like, "Why am I in this show? I'm horribly miscast."
And they drive past, oh God, what's her name? What's Ashley Judd? And she's like, "Where's my son?" She's still chasing an airplane.
Would have made the show so much better if she had running in the
just standing on the side of the road looking.
Chasing another plane. I'm an FBI agent looking for her son, a mother. That would be so much better. I don't
I
know.
found it interesting. I'll give it another shot. I mean, it wasn't so bad that I wouldn't watch it again. It wasn't a siren. I don't think it has sustainability.
No, I felt like they revealed quite a bit for a first episode.
Yeah, they really did. But maybe that means there's even more to reveal.
That's true. That's
You know
true.
who's definitely not an Apex person? Is that the
James
Evolved People
on.
Apex? No, I was gonna say your current president, but
Oh. You know what? What if they're like all Apex people and they're just lying? We don't know that.
well, they said that there's lots of them already back there.
Yeah, yeah. And we had one guy working with the government that was one of the future people. So we don't know how many times, how far back they've gone in the past, how many times people have gone into the past.
They could have been like onto like, you know, like we don't know how far the time machine goes. Maybe it goes all the way back to like, 1,000 years ago and nobody's a human. They're all apexes. They just don't know it.
And all I want to say the whole episode was, they took our germs!
Yeah, or something happens now that these people have come to the past. Something happens that spurs and becomes the beginning of the apex people. It's like, the whole time loop.
Yeah. Well, and on the flip side, it's like the apex people look like anybody else. The mother who came back, she looked like anybody else. So you just looking at them, you can't tell if you're an apex or if you're a normal. And so maybe more of these people are apexes. And like I said, South Park did this decades ago.
Yeah, they did.
But in this case, people didn't really have like language.
Majerbs.
I'll give it another go. It seems like a weird vehicle for Steve Zahn, but
well, he doesn't have much going, so take whatever.
That's true. Get what, and I don't think this is gonna last long.
Yeah, did people watch it?
The only article I said is open soft.
But it was available like 3 weeks ago to watch, so maybe some people watched it online.
That's true. Yeah,
because I watched it 3 weeks ago.
And I remember seeing an article when it was available, so maybe episode 2 will be a little bit more. Maybe they should have just aired it after Roseanne. I don't know.
Yeah, just like everything airs after Roseanne.
Yeah, I don't think the audience would really overlap much. Because this is a show about immigrants.
Immigrants? Refugees?
Same thing. Yeah. So
well, I mean, if you think about it, we all remember the pictures of the dead children on the beach that were the Syrian refugees, right? Over in Italy. I mean, we're essentially seeing the exact same thing.
The exact same thing. Yeah. So when is somebody going to be like, oh, I need to build a time wall so these people can't travel back in time because they'll hit the time wall.
Time wall. It's going to be the biggest time wall ever.
You'll be able to see through your time wall. It'll be transparent time wall.
And now the National Guard is there to protect the time wall.
Because like caravan of future people. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, we've got a few minutes. So I want to talk about something a little bit differently. This week, Entertainment Weekly released an article where their staff got together and they picked out 70 different TV shows, and they had arguments and discussions and came to, for every one of these 70 shows, the season that they think is the best season of that show. So I pulled out a few of the shows that we watch, and let's see if we.
Is this like the past, present, or current?
They're all past shows.
Okay.
Oh, some are current shows. So, for instance, let's start with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, if you were to go back to Buffy, what would you proclaim the number one season?
Probably. Oh, I'm so bad at seasons and stuff. But
you can tell me like the villain.
Oh, yeah, definitely the one. And as horrible as it was, the one with the mayor.
The mayor. That's season 3. And that is my favorite. They named season 2 as the best season of Buffy. Season 2 is the one with Spike and Drusilla and with Angela.
Oh, I liked that season too.
Oh, it's a very good season.
Because I love anything with Spike.
Yeah, it's a very good season. I have a soft spot for 3, but you can't argue that one. That one's pretty good. All right.
Yeah.
Survivor. Now that we've had 100 seasons of Survivor.
so bad. The season's the same. I would say. I mean, we just talked about Race or Survivor, and probably whichever one Boston. Oh, the first time with Boston Rob and Amber.
Amber
I loved that
and
season.
All Stars when they were both together.
Yeah, All
All
Stars.
Stars.
Yeah.
My favorite, and I've said this many times before, is Micronesia Fans versus Favorites, which we got a bunch of history lessons and flashbacks on this week's current Survivor. That's one with Eric the Ice Cream
Yes.
Man and Ozzy and Fantastic Season. And that's the one they named as the best season.
Oh, yeah, that was a good season.
Yeah, I really like that one. This one's going to be quick. What about Glee?
Season 1.
Next. The Office.
I binged that, so it's kind of
it's
all
tough
one
when
big
you binge
blur.
it. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't.
I'm partial to season 3. They
Okay.
named season 2 as their favorite, which season 2 was
Okay.
fantastic.
Is that when him and Pam were together, or no? The first season they were together?
Season 2 was the one where, oh, I might be wrong on this. I think season 2 was the one where at the end they kind of kiss, but then he leaves and goes to Connecticut.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
season
Okay.
3, oh, I believe, I could be wrong. I think season 3 is the one that opens up with Jim in Connecticut, and we meet Andy and we meet Cameron.
Okay, okay.
Um,
Is it Connecticut or New York?
Connecticut, because he goes to Stanford.
Oh, I always thought it was New York for some reason.
Yes,
Okay.
Stanford, Connecticut. For Teen Wolf, I liked either season 1 or season 2. They named season 3B, which was the one with Evil Styles.
Oh, I have to go with 3B too. Evil
Because
Styles was so good. It was such a good season, and there wasn't any Allison. Was there?
I think she was still alive at that point, wasn't she?
Oh,
Oh, I
I thought
don't
she was
know.
gone for Evil
Maybe
Styles.
that's when they killed. Oh, maybe they killed her before that, like at the end of 3A, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. Sorry, Allison. What about Lost?
Oh, I'm gonna say season 1.
That's what they said. I thought it took me 4 or 5 times to attempt to watch season 1 of Lost before I got all the way through. I think I prefer season like 4 or 5, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But they really liked 1. And 2 was off. I did not like 2 at all. And the first half
No.
of 3 was really bad. 3 got better after that first bunch of episodes.
Yeah.
But season 2 is not very good. And they couldn't decide on Game of Thrones, and they picked 2 seasons for Game of Thrones.
I'm gonna predict the future season will be the best season, but beyond that, I'm gonna say.
What are you, from The Crossing?
I won't say number 1. Yes, I am. I won't say number 1 because remember we used to call it Game of Snores.
Yes, they did not say number 1.
2 was a good season. I'm gonna give 2.
They said 4 and 6.
Okay, I love every season, but last season was amazing.
Which was last season was 7, right?
Oh, was it? I thought it was 6.
No, last season was 7. The season
Okay.
was 6.
Oh. I thought last season was better than season 6 then.
No, I think season 6 was better than 7. 7 did have some really good moments. You had Olenna Tyrell, that scene. You had the scene with the caravan. The caravan. Now caravan just makes me laugh.
I hated the sand snakes. I think that's why I hated that season, or I disliked that season.
Sand snakes was a lot of like 5, I think. You're right. I'm the same way. They all blend together.
It's hard to keep them straight, and I just rewatched them all, right? So they're all still kind of smooshed in my mind.
And then they picked season 4 of Dexter, which was the one with the Trinity Killer and John Lithgow.
Oh, that was a good one.
Very good. What's my favorite actress doing now? I haven't seen her recently.
LaGuerta?
LaGuerta. Yeah.
Nothing. Actually, no, I think she was on something I just watched. Remember I said LaGuerta was in it?
Or was it her twin sister?
Could be. I remember we saw she had a twin sister. We were like, what?
So weird. Okay, apparently she appeared on 3 episodes of MacGyver this year or last year.
I didn't watch MacGyver.
She did 11 episodes of How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, that's where I know I watched her from. She's the dean on How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah, Soraya Hargrove. I don't know how to say her name. But yeah, there she is. She's been on How to Get Away with Murder.
Well, there we go.
Yay. So, yeah.
Any show that wasn't mentioned that you would have a favorite season of, like How I Met Your Mother or
They did actually mention How I Met
Roseanne?
Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother, they did season 3. Roseanne, I would probably go one of like the 4 or 5, one of those seasons. With they didn't mention Angel.
I have to
Angel
say season 1 because it had Doyle in it.
season 1 had Doyle. It was weird though because with season 1, it took them a while to kind of figure out what kind of show they wanted to be. So I think I really liked season.
It was a weird season.
2. I think I liked season 2.
Did season 2 have when Buffy came back and then they had to forget?
That may have been number 1. I think that may have been number 1.
Yeah.
Because then he comes back to like Sunnydale and fights the giant like Indian bears.
Oh.
But again, I have the same problem where a lot of the times things just run together. Oh, and my favorite season of Ringer was season 1.
There should have been 20 seasons of that. How dare they? Favorite Golden Girls season?
I think I like the last season. The last season was good. Season 7. Again, they all, especially when I watched them as a young kid.
When you're a kid, and you don't. I mean, as a kid, I'm sure it's the same for you. I mean, you couldn't go back and watch something if you didn't get it. You had to hope it came out in a rerun.
Oh, 24 is a show I loved, and they named season 5 my favorite season of 24 is season.
Which season?
Season 4.
Oh, okay. Never watched it.
But yeah, so that was kind of a fun list. I wish sometimes it'd be fun to just argue that kind of stuff with people. Like, no, season 3 of Lost is better than 1.
No, people are passionate about their shows.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know that.
Like, what season of Grace Under Fire is your favorite? No joking.
Oh my God, none. I always feel like a lot of times the first season is the best because that's the season that caught me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it all goes downhill from there.
I noticed that a lot of these shows, they did mention 1 or 2. Because I feel like with comedies, sometimes they don't get really comfortable with their cast and with their writing until like season 2.
Mm-hmm.
But usually dramas are a lot stronger right off of that. Kind of weird.
Okay, well, there we go.
Yay.
That'll be the show for the day. We'll be back next week, and I'll be back tomorrow with Arthur and Ryan at 6:30. Thanks for listening. Have a good one. We're gonna talk about, and my son got very angry when I told him about this story, how the World Health Organization is recognizing video game addiction as a real thing. He got mad. He says it's not true, and he got all angry.
I kind of disagree with that too.
Oh, well, you should tune in and call in like I told my son to. There's a little preview for you guys. Okay, have a good
one.
Next week.
See ya.
Bye.